Hi everybody. This is part 2 of preparing data in Excel for backtesting. Last time we have calculated the yearly return of the market portfolio and the optimal risky portfolio. This time we look at the value of the portfolio. We go to the selected stock worksheet. We are going to explain row 1 to row 30. In the project, we assume the fund with the size of 100 million as at end of December 2011. So, assuming we have 100 million in December 2011, we know that the risk-free rate is 1% per annum. So for each half year, the return is 0.5%. So if we calculate the growth of the portfolio with a risk-free rate of 0.5% per half year, this is the log return. We can calculate the value of the portfolio if the money is invested in a risk-free rate. Similarly, if we have 100 million and invest in the market portfolio, since we have calculated the half-year return for every 6 months, so we can calculate the portfolio size with respective half-yearly return. So this would be the value of the portfolio of the market portfolio. Next is the optimal risky portfolio. Again, if we have 100 million and invested in the optimal risky portfolio, the fund will go like this, while the Hang Seng Index would be this. Now, with the value of 100 million, we can calculate the cumulative return of respective portfolio. This gives you the cumulative return of the market portfolio with respect to the initial value. So over 5 years, the market portfolio has grown 206%. For conservative investor, we know that he will invest half of the money to market portfolio and half of the money in the risk-free rate. So this would be the portfolio value for a conservative investor, which is 50% of this and 50% of this. For moderate investor, he would put 90% of his money into the market portfolio and 10% of the money to risk-free rate. So here is the size of the portfolio for moderate investor. For aggressive investor with borrowing capacity, he would borrow 50% of the money and invest 150% of his money into the market, and this is the portfolio value. So the cumulative return of the free investor would be like this. For the conservative investor, for the moderate investor, for the aggressive investor with borrowing, this would be the optimal complete portfolio. But if the aggressive investor cannot borrow, what he can do is to invest in the optimal risky portfolio. And here is the cumulative return of the optimal risky portfolio. And here is the cumulative return of HSI. With this cumulative return data, you can plot the chart of cumulative return, like the 4 chart shown here. Finally, you need to input the data in the Bloomberg for backtesting. Since you rebalance the portfolio every 6 months, it means you have to input the number of shares of your selected stock every 6 months. Cell enclosed in this region are the number of shares you need to input in the Bloomberg terminal for backtesting for every 6 months. Your initial portfolio of 100 million requires you to buy 45,558 shares of 1928, 64,516 shares of 151, and no share for 2319, and so on for the market portfolio. If you buy share in this amount, you will have the weighting of 1% in 1928, 0.5% for 151, 0% for 2319, and so on. So this number of shares is very important when you input into Bloomberg for backtesting. Half a year later, now remember, this is the market portfolio, and you can change it to the optimal risky portfolio if your investor is aggressive investor without borrowing capacity. Now we stick to market portfolio. This is the value of the market portfolio. After 6 months, the value of your market portfolio grows to this amount. To maintain the rating, it means you have to modify rebalance the portfolio accordingly, because otherwise the rating would not be kept in these ratios. To maintain 1% of 1928 in your market portfolio, it means you have to increase the number of shares for 1928 to 48,900, and you need to readjust your portfolio like so. Otherwise, the weighting would not be the same. So it means when you rebalance the portfolio in June 2012, you need to input the number of shares like this to your Bloomberg backtesting function. Then you repeat the process for every 6 months. It means you are rebalancing the portfolio every 6 months. So this sheet is very important for backtesting purpose. So up to now, we have gone through all the details of this Excel file. If you have problem reviewing this series of videos, refer to the respective PDF file, Backtesting in Bloomberg, Guide to Optimization, Guide to Excel Template Optimization Excel file, or ask me so please do your project early, otherwise you don't have sufficient time. So that concludes our series of videos. Bye bye, enjoy watching.